Hello guys, before we get into today's video, I want to thank all of you that have subscribed to me. It makes me really happy knowing that I have 20 subscribers and people like my content. Today I'm going to talk about the 2024 Republican primary. There are three leading possible contenders for that. The main ones being Mitt Romney, Mike Pence, and Nikki Haley. You could also make a case for Donald Trump Jr., but he would have a hard time emulating his father's grip on his fan base. And I only see him having a chance if Trump wins his re-election bid, which I doubt. For example, this poll for the 2024 Republican primary tells us who the people want to see win the primary and who the people want to see on the ticket. As you can see, there is a lot of difference between Republican respondents and the general population. There are, of course, other people that could run the primary, like Josh Hawley or Ron DeSantis. I do not believe they will be able to win the primary, though, due to COVID, and Josh Hawley's doesn't have too much experience, but that's okay. The most controversial one on my list is Mitt Romney. By 2024, let me see, he would be 77 years old, which is the same age that Joe Biden is currently for the 2020 election. He most likely would only win if Trump loses by a big amount. We are talking about 350 electoral votes for Biden. And as you can see in this part, you can see that he's really popular with people that are 50 years plus. It's the most important fan base or age range you need, since people that are older are always going to vote more than the younger generations. From a political standpoint, he has done many things that would help him run in 2024, like voting to impeach Trump and appealing to those moderates and independent voters. For example, like today, he calls the Biden probe of Ukraine as by the Republican Party, his own party, as a political move. That old school Republican candidate would appeal to those George Bush and McCain fans. This would bring turnout by a lot if he chooses a good Veep too. In my opinion, he would have a better chance in 2024 than what he had in 2012 if Trump loses. Okay, let me see who's next. Up next is the most one of the most popular ones, Mike Pence. He would more than likely be the candidate if Trump wins for sure in 2020. But he has to hope that, since you can't really send a person that just came off from a failing ticket. The problem for him is the fact that if Trump gets indicted or goes to jail or anything near that degree, it would diminish his chances at even making it out from the primary by a lot. And let me see, as you can see by the polls, he is really popular with female Republicans. Not as much as Romney, but he's still decent enough. This is most likely due to these women being either evangelical voters or just religious people overall. But if the Republican Party becomes more of a Big Ten centrist party, I believe that we would not see people that worked closely with Trump as the head of the party. No matter who wins the primary, I believe that the second person that should be on the ticket should be Nikki Haley, no matter who wins. Now for the most logical pick, that would be Nikki Haley. She would be a good pick for the Republican Party. This is due to many reasons. First of all, having a woman on the ticket, especially especially in 2024, is a must for either party. And if they're able to do a good campaign, she would have a decent chance at the presidency, since she would appeal to those moderates, independent voters, and minority voters. Right now, she's the third most popular choice within the polls, but I do fully expect her numbers to rise slowly come 2024. But as how things are planning out to be for 2020, she needs to distance herself from Trump. Let me see. For example, she has defended Trump on multiple occasions, which chances are is going to be a weight on her campaign. She would bring up a woman and minority turnout by a lot. And if the Republican Party wins 2024 with Nikki Haley on the ballot, that would be a big blow to the Democratic Party, since they are seen as the party of the people or the minority party. If the Republican Party wins in 2024 with Nikki Haley as the head of the ticket as a president, this would be a huge blow to the Democratic Party, and this would help the Republican Party become more of a Big Ten centrist party, which they have to in order to have to potentially win the upcoming elections and to have success overall. As I said, out of all these three people, I do believe I would put Donald Trump Jr. in the fourth spot. This is mostly due to the fact that he doesn't have that charisma or that appeal that Donald Trump has with his people. Either him or his father could try to run as independents if Trump loses in 2020, as a way to getting back against the Republican Party. This would be more likely if Joe Biden wins in 2020. But overall, the Republican Party has to pump the numbers up for the minority turnout and appeal to those centrist or independent voters. If I had to pick out of all these people, I would put Nikki Haley either as the presidential candidate or as the VP. I would also put Mitt Romney if Trump loses by a 350 plus electoral college loss or a full-blown blowout. Since Romney, in that situation, Romney could be the Republicans' party way into returning to normalcy. There are still a lot of things that could happen by then that could change things for either side, but this was a good prediction as things stand in 2020 before the election. And this was my 2024 Republican Party most likely candidate to be on the ticket. In all, whoever wins the presidency will have a significant effect on what will happen past this election and this decade overall. But at the end of the day, the people will decide who they want to be president and commander-in-chief. Due to the current state of affairs worldwide, we will most likely not know how this election turns out, potentially for days, weeks, or even months after the 2020 election day, November 3rd. If you can vote in person, please do so. But if you can't, that's also okay. You can always use mail-in ballots. Okay. If you have made it this far into my video, I sincerely thank you and for supporting me and making my birthday today better. Thank you for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. I put a lot of effort into making these videos, Now I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. And see you next time. Bye.